This is an IELTS speaking test simulation. Hello, welcome.
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
Can I start by asking your name?
Sure, my name is Nick Rai. I'm 25 years old and I'm from Melbourne.
Great. Whereabouts in Melbourne are you from?
I live in Oakley, which is around the southeast kind of side.
Okay, and are you working at the moment or studying?
I'm working full-time as a chef in a small cafe.
Okay, we're going to start with part 1 of the speaking test. I want to ask you about neighbours. So, how often do you see your neighbours?
I think I'd see them roughly around twice a week. My neighbours are Greek because there's a very large Greek population in Oakley. There's actually 3 kids in the family, and they really like soccer. And so kind of as little kids are, they're always running around in the front yard playing soccer, always asking me to come by. So I try and keep them as entertained as possible.
And do you invite your neighbours over to your home?
During special occasions like the holiday season, we might have like a barbecue or something, but usually we keep to ourselves.
And do you think you're a good neighbour?
Yes, I do. I've got a lot of chickens in my house, so we give out free eggs to all of our neighbours. So yeah, it's a good deal because they give us lemons. So we've got a little bit of a bartering system going on.
Excellent.
Yep.
And have you ever had one of your neighbours help you out?
I wouldn't say help me out. We do get along really well, like I said, because they've got a large family, and I try and be as nice as possible, especially to the kids. So in that sense, I'd like to think that I'm kind of helping them out in an entertaining kind of sort of way, but we don't really go around borrowing sugar and things like that.
All right, now we're going to move on to part 2. I want you to describe a very difficult task that you succeeded in doing as part of your work or your studies. You should say what task you did, why this task was very difficult, how you worked on this task, and explain how you felt when you had successfully completed the task. You will have to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes, and you have 1 minute to think about your answers. And here is a notepad and pen for you to take notes if that helps.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Time's up.
Here you go.
Thank you. Okay, please start to explain your difficult task.
Sure. Well, like I said before, I work as a chef in a small cafe. We do a lot of dinner service in the cafe, and there was once a very busy night where we had pretty much all 20 tables fully booked out, and there was a line out the door, the whole thing. Most of the tables that we served, it was amazing service. We did great dishes and everything went out perfectly. But there was this one table that was really, really upset with their food. Obviously, I was just one of the line cooks at that time, but I went out with the manager to find out what was going on, and it seemed like the entire table, there was 4 guys there, they finished the entire dish. Not one plate was, there was food, and everything was just licked clean pretty much. So we realized that if the entire restaurant has said that everything was okay, food was really nice, service was excellent, this table who complained, who ate the entire thing and didn't leave anything behind, we kind of thought that there was something sinister going on. So my manager and I said, if there was a problem, then it should have been dealt at the start, not at the end, once you've finished your entire meal. The customers were obviously disgruntled. We tried to calm them down as much as possible, but my manager then told me, you can't please everyone. We did like 95% positive reviews tonight, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
All right, thank you very much for that.
No worries.
Now we'll move on to part 3 of the speaking test. I want to talk to you about difficult jobs. What are the most difficult jobs that people do?
Well, I recently visited my friend who was in hospital. He fractured his leg from a motorcycling accident, and I definitely think it's nurses. Nurses probably have the most amazing job, but it is difficult in my mind because the nurses helped my friend out with almost everything. I mean, from the food and the, going to the bathroom, everything in between. I've never been to a hospital before, and I definitely have a new perspective on how hard and how long nurses work. There was a time when my friend who was, he had a fractured leg. He couldn't move at all, so the nurse actually fed him while he was paralyzed. So I thought it was such a sweet thing. And I mean, I know nothing about nursing and medicine, but I have a very, very high respect for everyone in the medical industry, definitely.
And why do you think that some people choose to do difficult jobs?
Well, I think that if you get into nursing or any other job, it's something that you actually really want to do. For example, you might really want to help people. You might, care about patients, things like that. For example, I really care about every garnish on my meal that I work with. So in that sense, I think we all work difficult jobs. We want to make sure that we actually do what we want to do. And if you're doing that, then I don't think personally an employee will say my job is difficult. I think they'll say I'm doing what I'm wanting to do.
So do you agree or disagree that all jobs are difficult sometimes?
I disagree, actually, because like I said before, if you truly are doing what you're planning to do, like if you're set on doing one thing, you wouldn't classify that as a difficult thing. You would say that it might be challenging, but it's something that in your heart you really want to achieve. So you would kind of stroll through that.
And now about personal and career success. How important is it for everyone to have a goal in their personal life?
Well, in their personal life, I think it should kind of be a not so high of a priority. But if they're actually focusing on their career, then I think it's very important to have goals, especially at the start, because I myself have gone through zigzags in careers, and now I've finally thought of a path that I want to go down, and I'm finally seeing a clear vision of my goal.
Do you think it's necessary that you have to work hard in order to achieve career success?
Well, I think I kind of like to think myself as a little bit of an old-fashioned person, and my dad and my grandfather told me that working hard is definitely a good thing. It pays off. But all the jobs that I've done so far, I've definitely heard my fellow colleagues say that we should work smarter, not harder. And I do agree with that as well. But because of my family history, I definitely think that hard work is a definite.
And lastly, do you think that successful people are always happy people?
I think we should all strive to be successful, but I wouldn't say that happiness and success directly correlates. You could be happy just going fishing or with, no money at all. And you could be successful as Elon Musk, but deep down if you're miserable, then it doesn't really mean anything. So I don't really think those two have any relation with each other.
Okay, that ends our IELTS speaking test simulation. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.